Hi, my name is Kurt, you're watching Anime Basic, and today I'm going to be showing off my anime collection. Well, this is actually part 2 of my anime Blu-ray and DVD collection. If you want to see part 1, I'll put it somewhere on the screen as an annotation, if YouTube even still does annotations. Otherwise, I'll play it safe and put a link in the description for part 1 anyway, in case you guys were interested in that. But yeah, without further ado, I will continue on from the other video. First up, we have Mob Psycho 100. So this says Mob Psycho 102. This actually contains the first volume and the second volume. I did unbox this on a video on the channel, which I will also link that in the description. I think it's probably my least viewed video on my channel at the moment. Yeah, if you've never watched Mob Psycho 100, please watch Mob Psycho 100. If you enjoyed One Punch Man, watch Mob Psycho 100. I prefer Mob Psycho 100 to One Punch Man, and I love One Punch Man. So please, if you haven't watched it, it's one of my favorite anime. Next up is the first My Hero Academia movie, which is My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. It was fine. Like, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, which probably isn't what fine would mean in a rating system. But yeah, it was enjoyable for a first My Hero Academia movie. Very fun. If you haven't, give it a watch. Next up is My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, which was the second film. This was originally planned to be the final film, I believe, but then after how well this did in the cinemas worldwide, they very quickly approved a third film after this came out. Then we have My Hero Academia Season 1. This is a limited edition that came out in Australia, maybe like 4 years ago. I actually bought this before watching anything about My Hero Academia, because I heard great things. Heard great things about it, so I risked it and I bought this. I'm glad I did, because not long after I bought this, it was discontinued, and for a while this is the only way to actually buy the first season in Australia. They've since re-released the Blu-rays, but for a while this is the only way you could actually get the first season on Blu-ray in Australia. It comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD and like a special art book. Out of the special editions I'm going to show you for My Hero Academia, it was the most well-made. The others kind of lost the quality. Next up, we have My Hero Academia Season 2, Part 1. Yeah, this ain't it. The anime is good, of course. The anime is good, but like, you probably can't see it, but just the box feels so much more cheaply made. I feel like there just wasn't any care to it. It came with a whole bunch of like really cheap goodies to try and justify a special edition release, which is disappointing. Then we have Season 2 Part 2 as a collector's, which once again, same thing, just very poorly made. Anime is amazing, but very poorly made collector's edition. And also, why split up the two parts into two separate collector's editions? I don't understand why they did that, but they learned their lesson apparently, because then we have Season 3, which how they did this was the first volume was part of the collector's edition, and then they released the second volume of Season 3 afterwards, separately. So this would just fit real nice into the collector's edition box, which that's a much better way to do things, in my opinion. Then we have My Hero Academia Season 4 Part 1. They're doing it differently. So the first part of Season 4, they just released as a separate Blu-ray. Then Season 4 Part 2 is going to be the collector's edition, which comes out in about a month. Which they're doing the same thing as Season 3, which is likely where they're just doing like the two separate releases, but like one collector's box, which I'm happy about. Season 4 was fucking amazing, dude. Alright, now I'm just going to go through some Naruto movies. Naruto Shippuden the movie, Naruto Shippuden the Wheel of Fire, Naruto Shippuden the Lost Tower, Naruto Shippuden Blood Prison, Road to Ninja Naruto the movie, which still Shippuden. Then we have the last Naruto the movie, which once again still Shippuden. Next up is One Punch Man Season 1, the good season of One Punch Man. I didn't mind Season 2, but it just does not compare to Season 1 at all. But if you haven't watched season 2 and you don't have your hopes super high, give season 2 a try. That's come out on Blu-ray in the past couple weeks in Australia, but I haven't picked it up just yet. We have Overlord season 1. I haven't picked up season 2 or 3 on Blu-ray just because I haven't finished the first volume yet, which I think I should probably get on pretty soon because I believe this second part on Blu-ray is getting more and more difficult to find. So I should probably jump on that while it's still not impossible to find. We have Pokemon the movie, The Power of Us. Pokemon the movie, I Choose You, which is, this had the talking Pikachu, which is kind of weird. Then we have the first 3 Pokemon movies in Blu-ray in this kind of cool collector's case, which unfortunately, I don't know if you guys can see, made very cheap glue, falling apart, which is disappointing. I'll probably go through and re-glue it myself at some point, probably when I go and reorganize my shelves. But yeah, just disappointing. In case anyone is from Australia, something is being done by if it shows up, Beyond. Yeah, Beyond. Something's being made by this company. Look out for that, especially Pokemon stuff in Australia, because they're very cheaply made. Very cheaply made Blu-rays and DVDs. So even cool stuff like this, unfortunately, will fall apart. Next up, I think is probably my favorite anime film, which is Pro Man. Oh my god, this is super reflective. If you have not watched Pro Man, it's done by Studio Trigger. It's like a combination 2D and CG animation, and the music. Oh my god, this. If you have not watched this film, watch it. Please watch it. I just love it so much. I can't gush about this movie enough, but it's so good, dude. Just please watch it. Next up is the Sarco Pass Complete Collection, which I think is like the first 2 seasons in the movie or something. I haven't watched any of this, but I've heard good things about Sarco Pass. I just need to get around to watching it, which, as you can see with my anime and with my Nintendo Switch games as well, I have huge piles of shame of things which I don't think I will ever have the time to actually complete, but it's nice to know that it's there if I ever do want to watch it. Because at least in Australia, anime, especially Blu-rays, get discontinued all the time. So if you don't jump on it fairly quickly after stuff gets released, there's a decent chance you might not ever be able to pick it up, which is unfortunate. Next up is ReZero Part 1, or Season 1 Part 1. I haven't watched this, heard amazing things, which is why I picked it up. I don't have Part 2 just because I haven't gotten around to watching this yet. We have The Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 1, Part 1. I have not watched this. I got the collector's edition, which is all kind of shiny, if you can see that in the light. It's all kind of shiny and metallic and really cool. It does have has extra goodies here, but you can take this out and then you can put the second volume in here, which I haven't bought the second volume just yet, which I will get it just so I have the complete collectors looking nice on the shelf. But at the moment, that's just how it looks on the shelf. So it looks fine as is. I'm not in a mad rush to buy the second volume just because it's I feel like it's going to be readily available for quite some time. I've already got the collector's part. Next up is Snow White with the Red Hair. This is another one of my fiance's favorites. She rewatches this all the time. This is Part 1. And then this is Part 2. Next up is Soul Eater Collection 1 and 2. So this is the first half of Soul Eater. And then Soul Eater Collection 3 and 4, which this is the second half. This is the rest of it, which, as you can see there, it's kind of weird. That's a New Zealand rating sticker slapped over a Australian rating sticker, which I tried to rip off, but unfortunately it was damaging the slipcase underneath, so I just stopped and just gave up. Because the spine looks fine, and that's what's showing up on my bookshelf 99% of the time anyway, so it's not something that really bothers me. Spirited Away. This movie scared the crap out of me as a kid. And watching it as an adult, even though it's rated PG, it's got a lot more blood than I would expect for a PG film, especially for something that kind of looks like it's a kid's movie. But it's not. Like, I probably watched this when I was like 7, I'd say. No, I would have been between the ages of 5 to 7. I was probably actually 6 or 7 when I watched this. I would not let kids that young watch this. If I wouldn't let kids under 12 watch this probably. But it's an amazing film. Same with Howl's Moving Castle and Promare. If you have not seen them, please watch those movies and watch Spirited Away. It's a must-see. Steins Gate. I haven't watched it. I bought this purely because it kept getting recommended to me, and a friend of mine whose opinion I very much respect recommended it to me, and it keeps appearing on like best anime of all time kind of lists. So I bought it. I have not watched it yet. I mean, same thing with some of the other anime I've mentioned. I want to give it the respect it deserves to kind of like sit down and dedicate time just to watch this, not juggle it with other anime at the same time, if that makes sense. Tokyo Ghoul Part 1. Amazing. I really, really love this anime. This part of the anime. Tokyo Ghoul Route A. I couldn't even finish this, dude. I do want to go back and finish it just so I can watch Tokyo Ghoul Re or RE, whatever it is. But yeah, I haven't finished this just because the quality just isn't there compared to the first season. But you know, I'll get through it one day. Tokyo Ghoul Re or RE, however it's meant to be pronounced, Part 1. I don't have Part 2 just because I haven't watched Route A or Part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul Re yet. So I will get around to that, but not anytime soon, I don't think. We have the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie. I bought this because it was pretty cheap, and I heard it was actually pretty decent for an anime film. I think it's got like a 90% or something on Rotten Tomatoes, something like that, which I know isn't an indicator of amazing quality all the time, but I mean, it's an anime live action film that didn't get completely shit on, so I'm willing to give this a chance, and it was pretty cheap when I bought it. Then we have Witchblade. Don't judge me. I bought this because when I was like 10 or 11, with like a weird some like gaming magazine or something. It came with like a DVD sampler. Had the first episode of Black Lagoon, the first episode of Witchblade, the first episode of New Ghetto Robo, and some other show, some other anime. But I actually really like the action that I saw in this. I don't really care about the fan servicey stuff. Unfortunately, this is only Region A. I don't have a Region A player, so I can't watch this yet. I need to go out and buy like a cheap Region 3 Blu-ray player just so I can watch this. Next up is Yu Yu Hakusho Part 1. This is a steelbook. Now I bought this because I'd been wanting to watch Yu Yu Hakusho for a really long time. A really, really long time, but I want to watch it from the start, which with kind of older anime isn't always easy in Australia, especially. So when I heard they were re-releasing this on Blu-ray, I jumped in the first volume straight away. And then I heard not long after that, a few months after that, that they were re-releasing them on Blu-ray in just normal Blu-ray cases. But then I found out they weren't like the Australian or UK Blu-ray cases where they're kind of like a thicker size, which is what I like. They're the American thickness. To give you an example, is Witchblade, which I just showed you. It's a much thinner Blu-ray case, which that's what the normal Yu Yu Hakusho Blu-rays were. And I was like, oh, all right, I've already bought the first volume, and I've got the steelbook, and it's thick like I want a Blu-ray case to be. So I'll just keep collecting this. So I've got the first volume, then I've got the second volume, and then there's a third and fourth volume that I haven't bought yet, but unfortunately the steelbooks are becoming more and more difficult to get. They were discontinued pretty much as soon as they were released, so I need to try and get those as quick as possible, because I might lose my chance otherwise and have to finish my collection with the normal Blu-rays, which I don't want to do. Then we have Yona of the Dawn Part 1. Another anime for my fiance that she really loves. I spent a lot more on this than I probably should have. I think this cost me like $90 to get imported, but I did it as like a Valentine's / anniversary gift for my fiance. Not just as those gifts, because we're going on a cruise, and I ordered this as a kind of like a bonus gift for her. And luckily it arrived right before we had to leave for the cruise, which was actually the cruise that I proposed to her on. But yeah, I paid a lot of money for this, but she really enjoys it, so it was worth it. There is a second volume that I need to try and track down, but I'm gonna try and get that one a little bit cheaper than I got this for. I think I bought this when I had a bit more money than sense, which is unfortunate. And then finally, for my anime Blu-rays, we have the movie Your Name. Now, I don't have too many anime movies, most of it's just the series. I haven't watched this yet. I've heard amazing things about it, but I want to watch it with my fiance. But she, every time I suggest watching it with her, she just isn't interested, which is, you know, fair enough. But it's like, I've heard that it will make you cry, so I kind of don't want to watch it by myself. But I've heard amazing things. I might have to bite the bullet one day and just watch by myself if she's not interested. Otherwise, I can just pull the trick and just put it on the TV when she's not paying attention, and then she'll just start paying attention and watch it with me. So we've done the Blu-rays, but as much as I try to not buy DVDs when possible, sometimes I don't have a choice for certain anime that I want to watch. So now we're on to the DVD part of my anime collection. So first up is Bleach Part 1, Shinigami Collection 1. So there are 8 volumes of this. I don't have all of them, unfortunately. So I've got the first volume, I have the second volume, then I have the third volume. That's all I have at the moment. I will be collecting the complete set, but as you can probably guess, my anime collection that you've seen so far is worth quite a bit of money. Anime is not cheap, especially in Australia. I get better prices than most people based on where I work, but it is not cheap regardless. And then next up we have Cardcaptor Sakura Collection 1. I don't know if I've ever seen Collection 2 in Australia, and we might have only got the first season. Maybe the first season was just in print when we bought this. Unfortunately, despite growing up on the dub, where they just called it Cardcaptors, which is a bit different to this, this only has the Japanese dub, which my fiance doesn't mind, but I was never a huge Cardcaptor Sakura fan. So not having that nostalgia factor there for me doesn't really make me want to watch it. But it's there for my fiance whenever she wants to watch it, which she does sometimes. Then we have Digimon the movie. As much as I would like to say this is a copy from my childhood, I actually had this on VHS when I was a kid. Yeah, I had this on VHS, which the soundtrack is just so iconic to me. Is this a good movie? No, it's like 3 mini movies from Japan spliced into one movie for Western audiences. But I love the soundtrack. I love Digimon growing up, so this is nostalgia for me. I think I paid like $60 for this to get it. To get it on DVD, but even though that's expensive, to me it was worth it just to have the nostalgia bomb that is Digimon the movie. Then we have Digimon Season 1, Digimon Adventure Season 1, Digimon Adventure Season 2, Digimon Tamers, which I never really watched this when it was airing, just because where I lived, the cartoons were usually airing after I had to leave for school, which really sucked. We have Digimon Digital Frontier, which, mind you, even though I didn't really watch like Season 3 or 4, I still had all the Digivices. Not the different colors or anything like that, but I still got the Digivices for them. So I was a big Digimon nerd. Then we have Digimon Data Squad. This one, I think, was airing when I was like 12 or 13 or something like that, where I could leave, and like after I changed where I lived, so I could actually watch this some mornings. They also aired it on like Saturdays and Sundays, which was kind of cool, but this just doesn't compare to the other Digimon series for me. But they released it as part of the collection, so I bought the DVD. So I had the full collection that they've released in the kind of fat packs. I know there's some series that haven't gotten DVD releases like that in Australia, but I don't really care. If they release a fat pack version of them, I'll buy them. Otherwise, it's not of any concern to me. And next up are my babies. Things I paid way too much for, which luckily, thanks to eBay supporting Afterpay, took some of the sting off the purchases. So first up, we have Neon Genesis Evangelion, Death and Rebirth. I have not watched this. I will need to watch it as research for a video I have planned, but I have not watched this. I have not watched this just yet, just because I heard that you didn't need to, which will also be discussed in that video that I have planned as to whether you need to actually watch it. Then we have the end of Evangelion, which dude, like like anything Evangelion, this movie is such a mindfuck, but it's so good. I really love it. Then we have Evangelion Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6, Part 7, and then Neon Genesis Evangelion Part 8. Now, in the comments, don't ask me how much I paid for all these Evangelion DVDs, because I will not tell you out of shame. I don't want anybody knowing how much I paid for these. I told my fiance, and she is the only other person who will ever know how much I spent on on these Evangelion DVDs, because she's the only person that needs to know. Next up is High School of the Dead. I haven't watched this yet. I always wanted to watch it since I was a teenager, back when I was really into zombies. I did not know how fan servicey it was when I wanted to watch it. But my mind was already made up that I wanted to watch it. I don't really care about fan servicey stuff in anime, but if I'm able to ignore it, then cool. But I haven't watched this yet, but I do want to get around to watching it. I think I picked up the DVD for like $5 or something on a online sale, which is pretty cool. And then we have Maji, the Labyrinth of Magic Part 1, Collection 1. This isn't mine, this is my fiance's, which she got really into this anime for a short while. I don't think she's rewatched it since, but she got really into it, and so if she ever does want to rewatch it, it's here. Then we have Part 2. Then we have Maji, the Kingdom of Magic Part 1, and Kingdom of Magic Part 2. Then we also have My Love Story. Once again, not something I'm interested in. If it's on the TV when my fiance is watching it, because it's hers, I might watch it. Like I've seen episodes of it. It seems like a pretty cute thing to watch. It's just not really, it's not my thing. But you know, if it's on, I got nothing better to do, I might watch an episode or two. Alrighty. Next up, Naruto Part 1, Naruto Part 2, which these are big old fat cases. Big old thick boys. Naruto Part 3, which I think like half of this is filler. And then Naruto Part 4, which I think this entire DVD is filler, because they have like 220 original Naruto episodes. I think like 80 or 90 of them on like the end of it. It's just filler for some reason. Then we have Naruto Shippuden Chakra Collection 1, which I think there's 7 or 8 volumes of this. Got Chakra Collection Part 1. And then we have Chakra Collection Part 2. Now that's it for my Naruto, just because I bought all those Naruto DVDs at the same time when they were really cheap. But even though they were cheap, buying that many DVDs all at once really adds up. So I was like, you know what? I think that's a lot. I think I'm good. I'll just collect the rest later down the track. Then we have One Piece Voyage Collection Part 1. I think it's like 50 episodes in it. Yeah, 53 episodes. I always watched One Piece as a kid. I watched the 4Kids dub, which had the pirate rap that everybody hates.
Yo! Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Guilty pleasure, actually kind of like it. But yeah, this is something I do want to get around to watching. I'm not in any rush. There's nearly 1,000 episodes of One Piece, and I'm watching the Funimation dub, which I think they're only like halfway done with it. I think they're only like up to like episode 500 or 600, something like that. So I'm in no rush to start watching this, because I know it's going to be a long time before the dub ever gets finished, so I can wait. Yeah, Pokemon Indigo League, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 3, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 5, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, which I saw in cinemas. I think I've still got my the cards you got with it, because I saw it with my mum and my sister. I somehow managed to drag both of them along to it. I think I've got the cards somewhere at my parents' place in Queensland. I live in Sydney, which I'll have to try and track those down, because I mean, same thing with Digimon. Yu-Gi-Oh is a big nostalgia bump for me. So you have first Yu-Gi-Oh the movie. Then we have Yu-Gi-Oh the Dark Side of Dimensions, which this is like a 2 hour and 10 minute Yu-Gi-Oh movie. 2 hours for an anime film is insanely long. And for a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, that's that's quite a runtime, no doubt. And next up is Yu-Gi-Oh GX Part 1, Yu-Gi-Oh GX Part 2, and Yu-Gi-Oh GX Part 3. Part 4 never got a dub, so it never got a physical release in Australia or anywhere except Japan, I think. I've got some Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon Blu-rays I need to show off to you guys. But this video, just like the first part, is running super long. So I'm gonna end this part here, and then I'll upload a third part of my anime collection. That'll be all of my Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball stuff. I don't know if I'll label it as part 3 or if I'll label it as just a Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball anime collection video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. My name's Kurt. You've been watching Anime Basic, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying my collection videos. I wish you all the best, and have a good one. Peace.